All right, back for another beer review, and today I'm going to be reviewing a beer from Perennial Artisan Ales, and they are out of St. Louis, Missouri, and this is their Suburban Beverage. On the can here, they say this is a Gose-style ale with orange, lemon, and key lime. Comes in at 4.2% alcohol by volume, and no IBUs listed. And they have a Best By date instead of an actual canned-on date. And the Best By date is December 4th of 2018. I'd imagine they probably put 6 months or so, because 3 wouldn't make sense because 3 months hasn't happened yet. 3 months would be September 4th, and we're not there yet. And 4 months would also not make sense because that would mean this beer is like a week old, and I bought this before, I mean, I think about 2 weeks ago. So I think this is 6 months. So at the time of review, this is just over 2 months old if it was the June 4th date that I'm thinking. But anyway, it's a Gose. It should be fine. And even though they just say oranges, lemon, and key limes, I'm pretty sure it's Valencia oranges, Meyer lemons, and obviously key limes. So one thing about Perennial is that, I haven't reviewed anything from them on the channel, so this is the first review from them. But the second thing is, it's awesome that we get them here in Western New York, and we have gotten their beers for 3 or 4 years now. But the problem that I used to have with them is all their beers, seemingly all their beers, would come in 750 milliliter bottles, so the big wine bottles. And I remember this beer specifically would show up here in a 750 ml bottle at 4.2%, just being a Gose. I know it has oranges and lemons and limes, and I'm sure it's a little bit more expensive than your typical Gose, but they would be like $14.99, $15.99 for that 750 milliliter bottle. Now, if you convert that to this, what is it? This is, 500 milliliter can, so 16 ounce can. Or is it 16.9 ounces? Or is this a 473? I don't know, whatever. 16 ounce, I think this is a 16 ounce pounder can. But if you did the conversion, that would make this can with that pricing like $9 to $9.50 per can. That's insane, right? But people would buy it. It would fly off the shelves. All the rest of their beers, they did like a mint stout. They do obviously a Braxis and Sump. Those would be priced a bit more, like 20, low 20s. But to have this beer at that price was just ridiculous. So I never picked this up, but now that I see it in cans, and I think this can was like $4.50, yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a try. So I'm glad they came to their senses. I don't know. I'm paying $15 for 750 ml of a Gose, even with all those fruits, and it just seems like crazy talk to me, especially when it's not like, oranges, lemons, and limes can be expensive, but like I don't know. Just that's me personally. So I'm glad they're in cans now. Also want to give a shout out to Hanyolo. Does great beer reviews. He actually reviewed this like about maybe a month and a half ago. And I was like, if I can find this, I'm getting it. Oh, a little bit of an overfill here. Or maybe it's because I shook the can. Nothing crazy though. We should be fine. Let me give it a pour here. No, it's definitely an overfill. Jesus. Well, they gave me more beer. So now I'm shitting on them for the price, and they gave me more beer filled right to the top. Sorry. I'm sorry, Perennial. I'm sorry. Anyway, wow. That's, so that pours out like a Gose, this nice, bright, golden straw color, has a nice, decent haze to it. About 1.5 fingers to 2 fingers of a bright white head that's dissipating, not slowly, actually quite quickly, and it's fizzing out. And yeah, it looks like a Gose. So, not much more to say about the appearance. Let's get a nose on it. Yeah, very nice tartness in there. I'm picking up big time key limes. Yeah, way more of the key limes. I can't say I've ever knowingly had a Meyer lemon. I've had a Valencia orange before, just like a sweeter orange, I think. But never really, I had to have a Meyer lemon at some point, but it's just off the top of my head, I can't really think of when that was. But yeah, it smells like an array of awesome citrus characters. Yeah, lime, lemon, orange, nice tartness underneath. Seems like it's going to be quite acidic. Maybe even a touch of slight funkiness. I know this is a kettle sour, but there's a little bit of funk. Maybe it's the citrus notes playing off of one another. Not a huge salinity note here, like the salt character. That's a Gose, brewed with sea salt, even though they didn't say it on there. I mean, that's what Gose is. Yeah, not a lot of salinity. This is just like someone took orange juice, lemon juice, lime juice, mixed together, and threw it in a glass. 4.2% alcohol, and this is what you get. Anyway, it smells quite refreshing, pretty tasty, so let's get into it. Cheers. First thing I'll say is I'm glad I never paid 15 or 16 bucks for a bottle of this. I know that sounds bad, you know, right from the get-go. This is not bad. This is actually tasty, but not $16 a, you know, 750 ml bottle tasty. Yeah. Oh man, lots of citrus. First thing that hits me is like a very tart borderlining on a sour lemon component. Really acidic on the back of the palate. A little bit of lime, the key lime and the Valencia orange on the sides of the tongue. Straight up light body, super thin, but it's 4.2%, so you expect. Very crisp and effervescent on the palate. Big spritzy, almost like champagne-like in terms of the carbonation. Up front, you're hit with this like little bit of like sweetness, probably coming from the malt. As it passes through the palate, that, you know, full tartness hits you with all those citrus characters. On the back of the palate, it finishes with a nice dryness to the finish, but then there's a little bit of like sweetness lingering on the sides of the tongue as well. Yeah, I mean, this is a good Gose. There's not a whole lot to it. What they say on the can is kind of in the glass. Those three citrus fruits, along with the Gose base. I will say, I guess the one thing missing for me is that salinity, that salt character. Really not prevalent. I guess, you know, actually, it's funny. As I'm saying that, underneath the tongue, I'm kind of getting what would resemble like a sea salt character. So it's there, it's just not in spades. This is a good beer. For $4 a can, maybe not that good, but it's still pretty good. I'm not blown away by it, but I think it's a damn good beer for what it is. I'm wrestling with 3.75 or 4. It doesn't matter. You know what? I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. It's a well-made, well-executed Gose with all the citrus fruits in there, a little bit of salinity, properly made. It's just not blowing me away at all. Again, if I would have paid the price that they were asking for it in a 750 ml bottle, man, I've done a couple reviews today and I cannot speak more so than usual. But yeah, if I would have had to pay, you know, 15, 16 bucks for a 750 ml bottle back when they released it, I would have been very upset at my purchase. In this can for $4.50. It's fine. So that was Suburban Beverage from the Perennial Artisan Ales, and they are out of, I believe I said, St. Louis, Missouri, and it gets a solid 3.75 out of 5. If you see this in your area and you're a big fan of Goses or kettle sours and you like all those citrus fruits, you know, the oranges, the lemons, and limes, check it out for yourself. If not, I'd say probably stay away from it just based on price point and the fact that it's not an overly complex Gose as is. So anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by for another review. Please like, comment, subscribe. Until the next one, cheers.